You know, it used to be if your truck broke down, you had options. You could fix it yourself in your driveway. You could take it to the old guy down the road who's laid hands on every vehicle in town for 30 years and charges you less than half of what the dealer does. Or, if you had to, you took it to the dealership and watched them invent new ways to take your money. That was your choice, your truck, your money, your call. Well, it looks like there's a fight going on in Washington, D.C. right now that's about to decide whether you get to keep that choice or whether the only place you're allowed to fix the vehicle you paid $60,000 for is the same dealership that sold it to you. It's called right to repair. And if you've been wondering why it feels like everything on a new truck runs through a computer the dealer won't let anybody else touch, you're not imagining it. That's the whole game. And here's the part that tells you how big this has gotten. This isn't just some squabble between mechanics and manufacturers anymore. The fight went all the way up to the White House. Automaker executives from Ford and GM sat down with the President of the United States a couple of weeks ago. Ford confirms the meeting happened, and what came out of that room should make every working man in this country sit up. Hang with me, because we're going to get to exactly what was said. Let me walk you through it. So here's the situation in plain English. There's a bill that's been kicking around Congress. They call it the Repair Act, and it just got moved forward by a House committee. What it's trying to do is simple. Force the car companies to give your independent mechanic the same access to your truck's computer that the dealer has, the diagnostic codes, the software, the tools. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking. Why the hell does that have to be established as a law? Well, it has to be a law because right now the automakers are locking that stuff down. The modern truck isn't a machine anymore, it's a rolling computer, and the company that built it holds the keys for the software. Well, the dealer's got the keys. Your local guy, well, he doesn't. So when the check engine light comes on and it's something electric, your independent shop, the guy you trust, the guy who's fair with you, he might not even be able to read what's wrong because he's locked out of that system. That's not an accident. That's actually a business model. And now we get to the part that hits your wallet, which is the part they don't say out loud. When you control who's allowed to fix something, you control the price. It's that simple. If the dealership is the only place that can legally touch the electronics on your truck, then the dealership sets the number and you pay it, because where else are you going to go, right? And here's the thing the data already shows. Owners consistently rate the independent shops better on price than the dealers. The dealers get about the worst ratings there are when it comes to what they charge. That's not a secret. Everybody who's ever paid a dealer service bill knows that painful lesson. So, when a car company locks your mechanic out of the system, what they're really doing is funneling you and your wallet straight back to the most expensive chair in town, every single time, for the life of the truck. That's billions of dollars in repair work, and they want all of it.
Now, here's where I want to slow down a little bit, because if you think this is just about new vehicles, you're missing the bigger picture. And the fellas in the fields already know exactly where I'm going. You want to know what this looks like 10 years down the road? Look at what they already did to the farmers. You got guys out here with equipment that cost more than a house. We're talking big machinery. And when something goes wrong out there during the busy times, and they can't fix it, not because they don't know how. These are men who've been there, done that, with trouble lights in their teeth at 2 a.m. They can't fix it because the manufacturer locked the software. And the only person legally allowed to plug in and clear the code is a factory tech who's 2 counties away and can't get there until Thursday. Meanwhile, the product is still sitting in the ground. The weather, it's probably on its way, and the harvest crew is sitting around with their thumbs up there, you know what. Now that happens. That's real. the farmers have been screaming about it for years. And what's coming for your truck is the exact same playbook. They just started with agriculture. So here's the question that's actually underneath all of this. And it's a big one. It's a bigger one than the money, really. When you hand over $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 for that brand new truck, do you even own it? Or did you just buy a real expensive permission slip to use a computer that somebody else still controls? Because if you're not allowed to fix it, not allowed to choose who touches it, not allowed to get into its own brain without their say-so, that's not ownership, folks. That's renting with extra steps. That's what this fight is really about. Not a check engine light, but whether the thing in your driveway is actually yours.
Now, I'll give the car companies their fair shake because I'm not here to lie to you. Their argument is security. They say if they open up the software so anybody can get in, then hackers can get in too. And on a truck that's all connected, that's a real concern, I guess. Nobody wants somebody taking over a vehicle going 70 down the interstate. That's a legitimate worry, and it deserves an honest answer. But here's what I'd say to that. There's a difference between we need to keep this secure and we need to keep this secure and also make sure you can only ever pay us to fix it. Funny how the security solution always seems to end up with you back in the dealer's service line. So, where does this stand right now as I'm speaking? Well, that committee moved the bill forward, and it had put the federal government, the FTC, in charge of making the car companies share the goods. It's not law yet. It's a fight, and it's still going. Rest assured, the car companies are spending plenty of real money to stop it. And this is where it gets kind of interesting, because remember the White House meeting I mentioned up top? A couple weeks back, executives from Ford and GM, along with Roger Penske, went and sat down with the president. Ford confirmed that meeting happened and that they talked about vehicle repair. Now, here's the part that turned heads. Coming out of that meeting, the president told a room full of people that the automakers, and I'm paraphrasing what he said plainly, that they want a bill that stops people from fixing their own cars. His words were basically, quote, "They don't want people to fix their cars," unquote. Now, I'll be straight with you about what we don't know, because I'm not going to feed you half a story. He didn't name a specific bill. The White House didn't really spell it out, and the car companies damn sure aren't talking. Ford confirmed the meeting and then, of course, went quiet. The industry's own lobbying groups even claimed publicly that they support right to repair. And Ford's argument has leaned on warranty work and safety. So there's spin flying in every direction at this point. But strip all that mess away and here's what's left, and it's really enough. The people who build your truck went to the highest office in the land, and the message that came out was that they'd like it to be significantly harder, not easier, for you to fix what you own. Now, just my 2 cents on this, and please don't read into this politically. I don't think that Donald's going to mess with this. I think he knows it's your truck. It's your right to do what you want with it. I think there might be some areas with warranty work on high-tech stuff that he might give them a little bit more control over. But overall, nah, not his style.
So, why am I telling you all this? Because this is the same story I've been telling you all along, just from a different angle. The working man is getting squeezed. And it's not just the sticker price anymore. It's the payment. It's the reliability. And now it's whether you're even allowed to keep the thing running yourself without paying some sort of twisted toll. It's all coming back to the same thing. They want you dependent on the dealer, on the financing, on the factory tech with his magic laptop. And the only thing that's ever pushing back on this is regular people paying attention and making noise, same as the farmers did. Now, it's in front of the president, and I'm not here to tell you who to root for or how to vote. That's your business, not mine. But the question's a fair one to ask out loud. When the man who built this truck walks into the big White House and says they want it harder for you to fix your own damn machine, is the fella sitting behind the desk going to stand up for the working man? Or is he going to let the corporations have their way, like they usually do? Make America, well, you can finish that sentence however you like. I don't know the answer yet. Nobody does. Time will tell, right? But you better believe I'll be watching, and I'll keep you posted. So pay attention to this one. It matters more than it looks. And tell me in the comments, you ever been locked out of fixing your own damn vehicle? You ever take it somewhere and get told only the dealer can touch it? I want to hear it, because I know I'm not the only one. If you want the rest of this story, why the working man's getting priced clean out of the truck market in the first place, that video is right there on the screen. Go watch it. Same fight, and I'll see you at the next exit.